Welcome back to Starbase Summary, the videos where the commentary is made up and the launch dates don't matter. I probably should change that one day to the launch dates are made up and the commentary doesn't matter, but one way or the other. Hey, we've got some launch date related stuff coming up later in the video. We're going to start it off with the ASU Heat Exchanger over here across the road from Pad 1. The distillation tower section getting verticated. Can I use that terminology? The vertification of the ASU distillation section. That's a legitimate word, I think. But transported that thing over horizontally. You can see all the blinds and caps, I guess you could say, on the pre-existing holes and plumbings. I saw a lot of people in the comments before talking about how these things are getting more and more modularized. Modularized being the word I was probably looking for. But go ahead and Gage, look, what are these art shots from Gage all of a sudden? Like out of left field, Gage is out there, one of our ops people, not primarily focusing on videography or anything like that, making sure the sites are well maintained and moving cameras around and that sort of stuff, the deployable cameras. But Gage, good job. That was a really cool shot, honestly. Over across the street, Pad 1's groundwork continues. You can see in the background Pad 2 back there, but here we have little stop-motion excavators moving around. Some CFA pilot drillings here as well. Oh, that's just too cool how those things work. It like spins it in, and then the whole the power part, the part that actually puts the torque on the drill bit auger thing, like moves up while it stays in the ground. Then they add another section, they add another section. It really is cool how those things work. Once again, you should not be surprised to know that one of the reasons I love watching these videos is because of all of the cool construction equipment that you get to see. You don't normally see that stuff working. This thing's just working in the foreground. It's just continuing to drill. And in the background, taking pieces off of the chopsticks. They're actually cutting the lower stabilizer arms off. Just a little couple sparks coming off of there, and then they're lowering those down. I wonder if they're going to redo them? Huh. Well, if you want the full analysis of the difference between those stabilizer arms when they go back and the stabilizer arms on the second tower, that is something that you should see in the Starship update. Oh my gosh, we renamed it and I said it correctly. It is no longer the Starbase update. That's a neat vent. It's no longer the Starbase update. We've renamed those Monday analysis videos as Starship update as more and more things start to happen over at the Cape. We've sort of rolled those together because it's not just one place for Starship anymore. Cape Canaveral is in there as well. Gonna go over and look at that Pad 2 perimeter wall. It looks like one of those things you install in a harbor. I guess it needs more rocks around it, but the rounded end, right? The end of it is that style? Certainly it's not a like a functional thing. It looks like a bumper on. See how it's a bumper and it's like folded back down around again? It's a little weird. Now, potentially there's a reason that the end of the wall actually has a little bit more beef to it, a little bit of an angle that's not just a flat wall that turns out, but they've made it look nice as well. So, well done, engineer who designed that. It looks nice. Thank you. Looking over at Orbital Pad 2, you can still see the drop parts, the triangle, the right triangle there that comes down from the bottom of the chopsticks. You can see it really good there right above the pad. Oh, it's here as well. Look at that silhouette of it on the left-hand side of the screen coming down from the chopsticks. That's what they were cutting off of Pad 1. And I imagine that you could go and you could diff those two things, look at the differences between them, and see if there's been an upgrade or do they just need to be redone. I will leave that to the talented folks at Starbase. Oh, no, then I said it wrong. It's Starbase. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. The talented folks in the Starship Summary. Looking back, you can tell it's a Caesar shot with the night shot there. Ooh, that's very ambient, isn't it? The Gigabay in the fog. If you follow along on the social media accounts, there was a really cool time-lapse of fog rolling over the production sites in Gigafactory and that sort of stuff. In any event, we're going to get a tilt up the ship here, courtesy of Colleen. Very cool. You see the beams in the way? I mean, one day that's all going to be doors and stuff, right? But those beams are the rear part of the Gigabay. Oh, that's a Boroscope. That's cool. Just feeding the old Boroscope in there, then looking at the monitor. for a minute there, I was like, there are some things, like if you're a mechanic, if you've ever worked on cars, there are things where you just have to use your hands without seeing what you're doing. Right? You got to lean around a corner, or you got to reach up behind a radiator or something like that. You really just can't see what you're doing, and you just have to trust whatever sense it is that positions tells you where your hands are and what they're doing, right? That's not what was happening. That guy had a screen and a Boroscope. Got some more of these cool nighttime shots of the robotic arms moving around. Previously there, you could see the big Nosecone turntabling, or I guess the Nosecone turning on its turntable. A little bit of a shot here over at Masseys. More and more equipment getting stacked up on top of that little test gantry we've been talking about. There's 18.1 and 18.3 test tanks over there. Have seen some parts coming off of them after that test little crumply thing. 39.1 test tank over. What about that one thing? Looks like it has an osprey nest on top of it. It clearly doesn't. It's like a weather station or something, I think. Gonna get a little bit of nighttime testing here. Oh, some generic fog rolling through. But also the nighttime testing. Oh, look at this. Now, say that's the bottom of the truss structure, isn't it? That's where it would normally attach to the ship normally. And then the top up there, you can see more and more work happening. Some really interesting cross-brace sort of pieces there. Oh, look at this. That is some wispy fog. Of course, the rocket garden there in the background. I think Colleen was standing by for a roll. Looks like Colleen and Caesar were both standing by for some rolls. But this one's just a ring stand rolling out. It's taking a right-hand turn, which is the Massey's direction, exiting the production site. The Cybertruck escort truck. Why is there not a Cybertruck behind it? Like, can they not put that light hitch thing on a Cybertruck, and so they have it on like that other type of truck? I don't know. Let's see if we get more detail when it rolls by. I don't see why you couldn't put a hitch on a Cybertruck. Maybe it needs two Cybertrucks, but whatever. It's fine. This, of course, the underglow, looking like a proper sci-fi future. I think the step from here is these things hovering down the road with some sort of repulsors or something, but the underglow is a good substitute until we get to anti-gravity repulsor technology. There's a booster stand. This one should take a left out of the old Remedios Road here. If it's headed to the launch site, let's see which way the wheels turn. Well, they go round and round first, but there's a left-hand turn. Going to go past the Gigabay construction, past the Star Factory, past the office building, past our highway site, then all the way up the road over to the launch site. So, I saw some speculation. Wow, that's cool, with the wheels all turned sort of in unison. It's like a ballet dance. It's not really a river dance sort of thing, but the unison operation. Why were they moving this out? There's no booster on it, right? Why are you going to send it out to Pad 2? What's the point? Just have it wait here until the booster's ready to put the booster on it and roll it out. I did see some speculation, and I thought it made a little bit of sense, that maybe they were testing the connections of this thing to the pad before it actually had a booster on top of it. Make sure everything fits, make sure everything works the way you think, all the lines hook up, it communicates correctly, etc., etc. There it is right there. See down at the bottom? Move the launch site label. Go away. There you go. That, and apparently, have you seen your circulatory system floating in the foreground there? I guess what they were doing was maybe plugging this thing in and just making sure it's like a dry run without the booster, making sure that everything plugged in and worked correctly before they get out there with a booster. But speaking of boosters, look at the doors opening on the Megabay Booster 19. You can see the crane coming off the top of it there. Bloop. See if it's going to skedaddle out. It is. It's going to skedaddle out the front of the bay. Of course, greetings from the future. We covered this live, right? So I know that we had a rollout. In fact, making sure we added it into the video here. But Booster 19 not going towards the launch pad. Got some work to do over at Masseys. So here, when we see this thing come out, it's got to sort of wind its way out from behind the Gigabay construction. A lot of really cool nighttime shots here. But it should come out and take a right when it gets moving. Now, in true live coverage style, this is the time where there's road closures. And it's like, trust me, bro, 9 p.m. to midnight, we'll get it rolled. Yeah, it's all good. Everybody stays up late. We get everybody out there. We want to cover this. We want to show you all the awesome little greebly bits on the bottom here. Here, we really should have put a timestamp on this because I don't think it started at the beginning of that road closure. I think that the team stood out there for a few hours waiting for this thing to go, wondering if it was actually going to end up going tonight or not. But because of the diligence of the team, I know gang was all there, Gage and Caesar and Colleen all together, you get these sorts of fantastic shots. That is an awful lot of tape on that. It's only testing. It's fine. Look at this. What is that? Oh, that's like the interior. It's turning. Those are all the thrust rams that simulate the force of a Raptor pushing on the bottom of that thing. That's cool. At first it looked like a brewery or something. It's a really cool type of brewery. But rolling up the road here, this, of course, the first Block 3, V3, Level 3, whatever you want to call it, booster to actually hopefully make it somewhere is probably a good caveat on that. Now, where is this? There's a turn in the road here. Is this back by the river turn already? And then Gage was, because there's the launch ties in the background. It looks like Gage might have been right there near the mailboxes near river and then caught this thing rolling by. So sort of a tag team sort of setup. Look at Gage with the product placement. Nice. I feel like Gage should turn around and wave at the camera, but that right there is Gage. That's a cool shot. I've watched a booster and a ship go by there, by that specific shot before, where you can sort of stand there next to the road. It is just amazing that these massive pieces of equipment roll up and down the public road. Clearly they close it out and stuff like that, but just being able to see these things is absolutely nuts. Now this tank waiting for B-19 to pass. Where is it waiting for B-19 to pass? It looks like it's in the road, but maybe this is Masseys, and the booster's going to turn in. See the tag team coverage here again. Colleen all the way out here near the turn into Masseys, I think. And are we going to get this sort of turning to our right from this perspective into Masseys, and then that tank will roll up the road? You know something, I do appreciate that. I mean, you're going to close down the road. It slows down traffic, people going in and out. Sure, it's done at night anyways, but 2 rolls for 1 closure. That's value right there. And there it is from one of the longer range security cameras up on the tower, rolling all the way back to its test position. Wow, they're working on that gantry thing too. In any event, folks, hey, down in the comments, put a ton of love for the teams out there that are catching all that footage for you so that they can share it here. It is a lot of work. It's late hours. It was cold, too, and nobody knows how to deal with that. But we do appreciate them being out and catching it. That's the Starbase summary, and we will see you nerds later.